O great mystery, God of all life and love and possibility, we ask for your Spirit to be present with us and around us on this day as we gather from across the miles to celebrate and give thanks for the Sweetbriar class of 2020. We celebrate these young women who have worked hard, studied deeply, asked questions, experienced challenges, and who have lived into their resilience and commitment with courage and clarity during difficult and unexpected times. Bless them, gracious and empowering one, as they journey forward. May the friendships they have made, the knowledge they have gained, and the vision they have embraced bring them comfort and strength. We offer thanks for the parents, grandparents, brothers and sisters, extended family and friends who have supported these graduates, encouraged them, and helped make their college journey possible. We are grateful as well for the faculty and staff, the administration and leadership of this amazing college. These are extraordinary individuals, each in their own way offering in ways great and small, wisdom, kindness, and guidance to help light the way for the growth and development of our students. Source of all, who encourages and inspires us to turn our hopes into realities, be with these graduates as they continue to expand their knowledge, share their creativity, open their hearts, and use their individual gifts and talents in greater service to our world. Amen and blessed be.
It is my honor to welcome you to the 111th commencement exercise of Sweetbriar College. Commencement, as you know, refers to a beginning or start, and not an end. Much as I have missed the presence of the class of 2020 on campus in the spring, and much as I will miss them in the future, I'm also full of excitement and hope for what awaits them. 4 years ago, they followed their hearts to a women's college in the foothills of Blue Ridge Mountains, and they have become women who are fully capable of embracing the future, strange as it may be in the age of pandemic. I want to thank the families and friends of the class of 2020 who stood by them. I also want to extend my gratitude to the faculty and staff who supported them in good times and weird times as we experienced last spring. As we start the celebration of the class of 2020, I also want to acknowledge Jeffrey Owen, Cassie Foster, Josh Harris, and Amy Ostroff for their effort putting together this first time ever virtual commencement. It gives me great pleasure to introduce you to 4 outstanding 2020 graduates who will be speaking to you today. Lacey Tucker, Brooke Burnett, Kaylee Kopp, and Julie Horton. Each year, one senior receives the Presidential Medal. She is a senior who has demonstrated exemplary intellectual achievement and distinction in these areas: service to the community, contributions to the arts, enlargement of the community's global perspective, and athletic achievement. The 2020 Presidential Medalist is Lacey Tucker. Lacey majored in engineering with a minor in math, with a 3.9 grade point average. Lacey was a Presidential Scholar, a member of the Alpha Lambda Delta Honor Society, a Nancy Godwin Baldwin Scholar, a Mary Kendrick Benedict Scholar, and a Whiteman Scholar athlete. Lacey participated in an internship with Project Playground while studying abroad in South Africa, and for 3 years has assisted with Brownie Science Day to encourage young women onto the path of science. She served as president of the QV Club and as a member of the Earphones, Falls on Noses, and the Sweet Peas. Lacey was an admissions ambassador and represented Sweetbriar on the College of Distinction website. For 4 years, Lacey played soccer and represented us on the tennis courts. The common refrain among those who nominated her for this award was, "What sunny and cheery demeanor she has." She is a perfect Sweetbriar woman. Well, there's no doubt in the minds of her classmates that Brooke Burnett was a born leader. She was elected class treasurer for 2019 and then class president for 2020. Brooke was on the dean's list each year and was an Alpha Psi Omega Society and Omicron Delta Kappa Society member. She was also a Mary Kendrick Benedict Scholar. She is known to students and staff for her gift in graphic design and event planning. The summer before her senior year, she worked for the Student Life office as an office assistant, an orientation leader, and a member of the campus events organization executive board. In her first year at Sweetbriar, Brooke played offense in lacrosse and joined the swim team. She was a member of the radio club, Bum Chums, Earphones, and Paints and Patches, and in the theater department, on stage, and behind the scenes. Many of you will remember Brooke as she stood on a chair in Prothrow during lunchtime to announce upcoming events and make club announcements. She was a thunderous, proud, and engaged member of the Sweetbriar community. Finally, after Lacey and Brooke, we'll hear from Kaylee Cobb, the 2020 SGA class president, and Julie Horton, 2020 SGA Academic Affairs chair. They will join us to present the Excellence in Teaching and Excellence in Service awards.
A few months ago, a good friend of mine asked me if I thought I left a legacy here at Sweetbriar. Me being me, I played it off and made it into a joke. I said something along the lines of, yeah, maybe my pun board ain't got on, which for those of you who don't know, is a whiteboard in the science building that my other friend and I filled with science puns. But all jokes aside, I do think I left a legacy here. In fact, I think we all did. It all started when we got our acceptance letters in the big envelopes stuffed with pink and green glitter. We made an impact on the school before we even arrived. We brought new life to Sweetbriar simply by choosing to come here. With almost 150 of us, we became the largest class on campus and made up close to half of the school's population. No matter what we did, we were going to make our presence known, and if you ask anyone who was here during our time, they'll tell you we did. We went through numerous changes at the school, and with every change, we adapted. We made sure our opinions were heard, we impacted campus, and we gave people something to remember us by. Although we had challenges and changes, losing some familiar faces and gaining others, we're still the same enthusiastic class from back in 2016. We may have struggled at times, but we came out better in the end. We learned to adapt, we learned to speak up for ourselves, we learned to stop being afraid of asking questions, and most importantly, we learned that all it takes to get a college student up early in the morning is to offer them free bagels or delicious donuts. I think it's safe to say that we will be remembered by Sweetbriar, and we left a lasting legacy. Our time here has also left its own legacy in us. We met new people, made new friends, and made memories together that we're going to take with us for the rest of our lives. We pulled all-nighters in academic buildings, made late-night sheets runs, sang Taylor Swift and Disney medleys at step singing, and swam in and even sank some cardboard boats in the lake. Together we had fun, and we grew into better people. Despite all our resistance, we might have even grown into real adults. Personally, I know I changed a lot during my time here, and I'll always be thankful for that. 2016 Lacey wasn't looking for anything like Sweetbriar. I didn't want to go to a women's college or to a small school. I had always lived in a small town, so I wanted to go to a school in a city. I had no interest in studying engineering or competing in athletics anymore. I was pretty sure that I wanted to go to a big university where I could just blend in. I quite literally had to be forced to apply to Sweetbriar by my friend who went to Hollins. Obviously, what I had planned didn't happen, and I'm so grateful that it didn't. I want to thank that friend and 2016 Lacey for changing her mind and choosing to come to Sweetbriar and choosing to do those things. I know it helped me grow up and meet some of my favorite people. I know I chose the right place for me. On that note, I urge my fellow graduates to look back to a few years ago when you decided to come to Sweetbriar, and thank yourself for making that decision. I also urge you to thank the other people that made this experience what it was. So thank you to the faculty and staff of Sweetbriar, who took care of us. Thank you to the wonderful professors who we loved learning from. Thank you to our friends and family who supported us along the way. Thank you to the students from other classes who we shared this experience with. And thank you to my fellow graduates who went on this journey with me. Now that we've grown and can look back at our time here, I want us to remember the hard times and how we handled them. I want us to know that Sweetbriar can never forget us. I want us to take these degrees that we've worked so hard for and put them to good use. I want us to take what we've learned and go out into the world to make a legacy wherever we go. Lastly, one day, once we've conquered the world and made our legacies, I want us to look back at our time at Sweetbriar and continue to be thankful for what it made us and how we grew from it. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us during this special time. Strange, but special nonetheless. We as human beings often feel small or a product of our circumstances. We often feel helpless or lost. Right now, more than ever, it might feel like the world is unspooling at our fingertips, or maybe that we're waking up because we had a blanket pulled over our eyes. As recent graduates, we can feel that we have been thrown into this world and expected to thrive, but instead feel hopeless. We live in a world where we are constantly barraged by bad news. The world is on fire. The Amazon is dying. Our graduation has been moved online. It's hard to keep your head above water when the water seems to get deeper every second. I watch television or news sparingly because it stresses me out. I tend to read about world happenings after the fact, but it seems to me that there is a lack of kindness everywhere I look. So today, I'm emphasizing kindness. It is a small thing that has a lasting effect on the people we interact with. Kindness comes in many forms, so don't conflate being kind to always being nice to others. Sometimes, the greatest kindness you can give yourself is to not text back, or to walk away, or to stand up for yourself. It may not seem like it, but today's challenges are only temporary in our lives. We have the power to change the world, to change our society, and to make more of ourselves. We must not succumb to the unfavorable circumstances around us. We are in control of the words we say and our actions. And in these little things, multiplied by people who care, that change the world. So kindness. Today, tomorrow, and the day after that. Be kind. Be kind to those around you, and compassionate of their circumstances. Say hello to your mailman. Compliment a stranger's shirt. Be kind to yourself. Take a hot bath. Look in the mirror and tell yourself that you can do it. Be kind to the world. Pick up trash. Recycle. Remember that 71% of the world's emissions are from 100 companies. You never know what you're going to change just by being kind. Wherever you go, be a positive force for good. Be the one who breaks the mold. And never, ever stop being kind. Do good wherever you find yourself in life. And please, do good recklessly. Thank you, friends, and I'll see you soon.
Service to your community is a deeply rooted principle at Sweetbriar College. We congratulate each other when we work for the good and work for the right. This phrase inspires ethical action and diligent work, both of which define this year's recipient of Excellence in Service. She has greatly inspired my leadership style, as I know she has for so many other students. Her ability to connect personally and maintain a high-level professionalism has influenced me in every project we have worked on. It may sound strange, but I am thankful that my remarks are virtual this year. If I was in the quad delivering this message, I might not be able to get out these words without becoming very emotional over the impact this staff member has had, not only on the community at large, but also on myself. Other students have also commented on her immense impact. She has been described as one of the mighty pillars that hold Sweetbriar up. Another commented, "I've never left her office without feeling better about myself as a leader, or more confident that Sweetbriar staff always has my best interest in mind." Another has said, "My experience at school would not be the same without her." When I reflect on my time in leadership positions at Sweetbriar, the way she approached every day with attentiveness and compassion was an inspiration. The expectation to always be doing something and doing it right is seen all across this campus. But today's winner exceeds all expectations. She has been with Sweetbriar for the past 2 years. She helps our students identify leadership growth opportunities and is a master at event planning and problem solving. She has guided clubs towards richer community impact as a part of our student life team and a dedicated student advocate. Congratulations! The winner of the 2020 Excellence in Service Award is Jess Austin, Assistant Director of Student Life. Thank you.
Greetings and salutations. As a student of Sweetbriar the last 4 years, one of my favorite spring traditions has always been recommending faculty for the Excellence in Teaching Award. Sweetbriar professors are a unique breed. They certainly are forces to be reckoned with. In the classroom, each is a brilliant expert in their discipline, but all of them give us so much more than professional instruction. They give of themselves by listening to us when we need a sympathetic ear. They willingly provide recommendations for graduate schools and internships. Some professors open up their homes for family-style meals when we're homesick. And I think we all know that our professors go that extra mile by coming in early or staying late to help us organize papers or understand complex material, and of course execute various other acts of service to our beloved institution. Sweetbriar professors are always here for us when we need them, and for that we are eternally grateful. This year's award goes to a professor described by students as helping with work whenever I need it. Someone who truly loves what they do and makes learning fun. Our recipient is able to explain the material in a way that makes sense and helps us grow in our ability to analyze. Some of the other comments exhibit the level of compassion that Sweetbriar students cherish from this professor. Truly cares about teaching. Goes out of their way to make sure that everyone is doing well both academically and emotionally. Encourages us strongly to speak in class. Is passionate about their subject. Goes above the rank of being a mere professor and establishes themselves as a true friend to students. Friends and family, honored guests, esteemed faculty, Dean Garrett, President Wu, and the tenacious class of 2020, please join me in congratulating the recipient of the 2019-2020 Excellence in Teaching Award, Dr. Susanna Nevison.
Thank you, Lacey, Brooke, Kaylee, and Julie. Jillian Munson is the Chief Financial Officer of XO Group. Ticker name is XOXO. She joined XO Group in November 2013 from Allen & Company, LLC, where she was managing director, leading the firm's principal investing and outreach activities with early-stage technology-oriented companies. Jillian was also a vice president for business development at Symbol Technologies from 2003 to 2007, aiding in the company's multi-billion-dollar turnaround. M&A processes, strategy, and eventual sale and integration with Motorola. Prior to that, Jillian was an executive director and senior equity analyst at Morgan Stanley, where she covered the mobile, storage, and personal computing sectors. Jillian began her career as a research associate at Hembrecht and Quist. She was previously a member of the board of directors at Monster.com. Jillian and her family live in New York City. Please join me in welcoming Jillian Munson.
Hello, Sweetbriar class of 2020. I'm speaking with you today from Vermont. I've been with my family up north for about 6 months, and fall is coming fast. Thank you to President Wu, the faculty, my fellow board members, staff, and students of Sweetbriar for inviting me to speak with you today. I am so sorry that this important milestone is virtual, as opposed to my preference in beautiful Virginia and in the warm hospitality of the Sweetbriar community. We are experiencing unprecedented times in 2020, and I feel for you as you try to start this next phase of your lives under these conditions. My own career started with a thud. In 1992, after I graduated from the Colorado College, I was jobless. All I had accomplished by that October was driving my grandmother's old car across the United States to San Francisco, and all I knew at the time is that after living in Colorado, I had to pursue a career in a beautiful place. I was nervous, and I was wondering where it would all end. Similarly to now, there was a presidential election on the horizon, and the economic world was uncertain. Employment was at a 15-year high. But then I saw it, an advertisement in the New York Times featuring a Japanese art gallery in San Francisco. Bingo, game over. I had found the dream job. I imagined myself glamorously selling art, traveling to Japan, where I'd spent my semester in my junior year, and the future, it was bright. So I wrote to the paper, yes, a paper, asking for the phone number and address of the gallery so I might send them my resume. I'm sort of amazed that the New York Times wrote back, but they did. And it turns out it was just an ad. The gallery didn't exist. No possible job existed. Dream career over. I was devastated. That was my first experience with the real world. And it was an eye-opener on multiple fronts, including the realization that many advertisements are not real. Fast forward though, I've accomplished enough in my life since to be invited to speak to you. Amazing, both me and probably my parents too. I am proof that it's all going to work out. And I hope for any of you who are nervously looking ahead that this small speech might help you believe it will work out for you too. I am excited about your futures and what you can contribute to the world. It's substantial. Today, more than ever before, the world is opening up for women, and that sets you up to be beneficiaries of times that are changing. When I was invited to you, I imagined a fall trip to Virginia, an alarm clock prompting me out of bed at the inn to walk the dairy loop. From the first time I came to the campus 3 or so years ago, I was awestruck by the views of Sweetbriar. And I went to college in Colorado, which is not too shabby in the scenic department. My favorite vista is acquired by standing in that parking lot between Prothrow and the Green Village. You might be thinking, that's an odd spot, right? And I think, in fact, there might even be some trash containers out there if you're looking at the buildings. But if you turn around and you look down towards the art barn in the morning with the mist coming up over the Virginia hills, that is one of the most spectacular views. A view that invigorates me. It reminds me of the beauty of our world, that the sun keeps coming up each morning and that opportunity abounds. When I go stand there on my visits, which I do pretty much every time I come visit, I feel a sense of being home and being a part of this special place. Seeing Sweetbriar's views always reminds me of why I want to be part of driving its long-term success. This is a special and extraordinarily beautiful place to transition from high school to your adult life. Luckily, that lot is also a great spot to make the call to go for a shorter walk up towards the gym, back around to the inn, especially if I've hit that snooze button a few too many times. I bring up the concept of taking in the view because likely you won't get to spend time in a place like this again in your lives. But you can bring it back the feeling by taking a moment in your day-to-day life from here to look out at a view of your city, of a tree in your front yard, or even an animal in a park, and be reminded of this home that you now forever call a part of your history and a base for you. You're experiencing this speech months after you left Sweetbriar, so perhaps some of what I want to relay you've already experienced. To give you some context, after that near miss in the art world, my career has been in business, largely finance, and in the technology and internet world. I have been very lucky to have participated in the rise of the internet, mobile computing, and a number of other trends that have fueled much of the world as we see it today. I have been an investor and a company operator, and as a result, I have met a number of interesting and successful people along the way. I want to relay a few pieces of insight from my journey that I hope might help you as you think about finding your own way. First, the most simple insight and the only one to remember, if you remember anything from me and this talk, is be nice to everyone. Try your hardest. This feels like a tradition on the Sweetbriar campus, and I'm here to tell you that's the one to keep. The secret I want to share with you is that it is also the hallmark of the very most successful people I've ever met. 2A1, the most successful are nice to everyone. And by everyone, I mean everyone. And in particular, to the staff at all levels that help them in their day-to-day lives. In my experience, the big winners always take the time to slow down, look people in the eye, no matter what their walk of life, and make a connection. There are benefits I see to being nice that are not only make it the right thing to do in business, but also good business. And in the end, it's about looking around corners. How do you best get the key inputs you might need? Meet new people, get new insights. You also may never know what role a person plays in your potential. In my case, whenever I am interviewing any candidate at any level, on my checklist is input from both the folks at the front desk and my assistant. I will not hire someone who wasn't kind to everyone in the interview process. I could go on and on this subject. It's a speech in and of itself, as kindness is contagious. But bottom line, be nice to everyone. It will yield results you might never imagine. Now, there's how you behave, and that for the most part is something you can control. But perhaps more important is how you feel, which can and will present some of your biggest challenges in your years ahead. A feeling that plagues women in particular is self-doubt. I've thought about this subject a lot in my life. I have experienced this a lot in my life. And the thing I want to assure you of is that if you're having self-doubt, you're not alone. We are with you. For example, when President Wu asked me to speak to you all, I quite honestly think I told her I thought she'd lost her mind with this choice. My thinking was, yes, I've had an interesting career, and yes, I am deep in the project of helping Sweetbriar as an independent board member for the institution. But I am not half accomplished enough to be given the honor of speaking to you and your families. As I think I said to her, I'm interesting, but I'm not Oprah interesting. If Oprah can come, dump me in a nanosecond. Bottom line, I was uncertain. I had doubt. Self-doubt holds women back more than any feeling. The practical downside of self-doubt is in compensation. Today, women are paid just over 78 cents for every dollar a man gets paid. This is changing, but it will still be a long time before we get to parity. Women are also underrepresented in boards of directors and in the corporate ranks at rates that are just not fair or smart. The problem is this: self-doubt is going to come. You should be prepared for it. I still have it all the time, including about this speech, and I'm pretty far down my career road. So what do you do when self-doubt hits? When you don't think you're getting your fair share? Fight for yourselves. Get brave. Life is more interesting when you do. And fight for other women too. Let's all be in this together. Most importantly, please realize you're not alone. Just knowing that there are many more folks out there feeling the same thing, it will help. Now, once you have a role, and I'm sure many of you have started jobs by now, I implore you to start to shift your thinking a little. This is where my most surprising advice might come. And it's the career advice I actually give most frequently. So basically it's this. Don't forget that a career is a two-way street. And do not stay in a job you fundamentally don't like. When you take a role, make sure you take the time to explore if you like it. Find someone years ahead of you in what you think would be the logical evolution of your role. Think hard about whether you can imagine yourself as that person. Do you like how they spend their days? Do you think you are good or will be good at the things they excel at? Do you think you'll like it? If you don't, you owe it to yourself to explore something else to do. Change can be scary, but staying in a job that's not a fit for you is not good for your soul. To quote Lin-Manuel in Hamilton, look around at how lucky we are to be alive right now. Opportunity abounds, and staying in a role you don't like is a waste of your time and energy, and it's going to lead you to poor performance. For me, this moment came not long after 9/11. When 9/11 hit, I was many years into a successful Wall Street career. I was traveling the world. I was helping people deploy millions, if not billions of investment dollars, and I was miserable. Every time I met women that were ahead of me, I just couldn't imagine myself as them. And as a result, when Wall Street condensed in 2002, I took a package, I left a lucrative career, and took a year off. First thing I did, went back to nature. I flew to Colorado on a friend's private plane. Fancy, I know. Spent the weekend with friends, and then left that town on a Greyhound bus for the next phase of my life. And funny enough, couldn't have been happier. I took the time I needed at that point to first see the view, and then remember what made me tick. And then I did a little consulting to try on a few jobs I thought might be interesting. In the end, a year later, I changed my career completely, going to help a technology company turn around, and my opportunity expanded further. I'm not sure everyone around me thought this was the smartest move, but my career has only gotten better from there. And more importantly, I've been more true to myself and happier. Now, you're not going to love your job every day. So this advice is not meant to imply you should quit a job anytime the going gets tough. But no one loves a job every day. And so life is short. And if you really don't love it, be true to yourself. Make a change. Now, if we've gotten to this point in my talk and you're still thinking, okay, where's the opportunity? There are so many across education, healthcare, technology. I see them everywhere, and they're here for you. Recently, one opportunity in particular has really been sticking out to me. I think it's tremendous, and it's worth your consideration, and it's one I know Sweetbriar is taking steps to position towards. It is the global transition from fossil fuels to carbon neutral sources of energy, and all of the related sustainability work that's going to go with it. I suspect this may be one of the single largest economic opportunities of our time, bigger than the internet. And it comes with tremendous social good, that of potentially saving our planet from global warming. Here's how I see it. In the 1990s, computing technology costs fell at such a rate that the cost to host technology became cheap. It kicked off applications, including the internet, and the technology boom we have enjoyed over the last 20 years, with applications emerging that none of us could have imagined when I was leaving college. In those days, Facebook, just a book of faces. As our world moves to a cheaper, greener energy base, as the cost to deliver solar and wind goes down at great rates, tremendous new applications are going to exist. Many we never heard of before. Tesla cars, as nice as they are only one of the first innovative applications of a green fuel energy base. Beyond that, it's about food and how it's created and delivered. It's about eradicating energy poverty in parts of the world where energy is not affordable today. It's about bringing water to those areas in creative and new ways. And of course, it's about preserving this beautiful environment and our planet. Now, not all of you will work in this area. Perhaps only a few of you will, but all of us can help the world become more sustainable, and I hope you'll consider it too, whatever line of work you're in. So, our time together is short. I hope a little part of what I said resonates with you. And again, if you remember only one thing, it should be nice to everyone. Sweetbriar Class of 2020, thank you to you and your families for trusting your college years to Sweetbriar. A huge community, including me, is rooting for you. We are here for you. We are home base when you need us. Please enjoy the ride and congrats on all you've accomplished. Cheers.
Thank you, Jillian. Dean Teresa Garrett, please join me.
Will the candidates for the degree of Masters of Arts in Teaching please rise? Ms. President, as Dean of the College and in accordance with the faculty vote, I have the honor to present the candidates for the Masters of Arts in Teaching. They have fulfilled all the requirements for the degree.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Virginia and the Board of Directors of Sweetbriar College, and upon the recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon you the degree of Masters of Arts in Teaching degree, and I admit you to all the rights, privileges, and obligations pertaining to the company of educated persons.
Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, and Bachelor of Science please rise? Ms. President, as Dean of the College and in accordance with the faculty vote, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, and Bachelor of Science. They have fulfilled all the requirements for the degree.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Virginia and the Board of Directors of Sweetbriar College, and upon the recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, and Bachelor of Science, respectively. And I admit you to all the rights, privileges, and obligations pertaining to the company of educated women.
I will now introduce you to the graduates of our Masters of Arts in Teaching. Molly Elizabeth Harper. Morgan Lee Rayno. I will now introduce you to our graduates with a Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, and Bachelor of Science degrees. Catherine Cecilia Albert. Taylor Marie Allen. Jade Nicole Ashley. Casey Leanne Atkins. Lizzie Laureen Baker. Nora Ruth Barron. Gwendolyn Elise Beckish. Kaylee Quinn Beckish. Yasmin Mohammed Bekri. Jessica Ryan Bell. Rosa Catherine Bello. Cassidy Aaron Bodkin. Naranjarel Boldbatar. Phoenix Genevieve Brown. Amelia Brooke Burnett. Elizabeth Walker Christopher. Kaylee Nadine Cobb. Dejanay LaChoyne Cole. Alexis Victoria Cully. Anna Catherine Davis. Sydney Jordan DeSena. Sophia Marie Dessart. Mildred Angelica Edwards. Jordan Lee Elliott. Madeline Rose Favre. Elizabeth Mary Foos. Chandler Elizabeth Fox. Catherine Townsley Galbraith. Samantha Marie Galindo. Brianna Marie Garcia. Jocelyn Marie Garcia. Bailey Marie Goebel. Valeria Rita Goffagen Ramirez. Sydney Lee Goldman. Rachel Gomez Hernandez. Angelica Audrey Hardianto. Kirsten Elise Hawthorne. Lauren Ann Helber. Julie Marlene Horton. Emily Suzanne Hudson. Isabel Claire Joyner. Shifty Shami Kamal. Veronica Lee King. Haley Jo Kirby. Olivia Ash Lee Colinda. Michaela Jeanette Lacasse. Destiny Corinna Lamas. Margaret Joy Lamphere Meyer. Victoria Elizabeth Lawson. Catherine Eileen Laird. Olympia Athena Katie Lahota. Haley Lenise LeBron. Tiffany Catherine Little. Carlin Grace McCarthy. Lashley Carol McCrae. Jessie Lee Melrose. Amelia Elizabeth Mendelson. Mackenzie Lee Mitchells. Abigail Lynn Miller. Sarah Renee Miller. Raven Lee Minyard. Farida Lami Mohammed. Kiara Daishe Moyler. Kirsten Ashley Mullins. Abby Lynn Narodowi. Ellie Ann Narodowi. Courtney Lynn Nelson. Blake A. Newton. Diana Lisha Wen Cruz. Celeste Kale Noble. Rachel Catherine Glover Partington. Kristen Rachel Pierce. Jillian Rose Peterson. Megan Renee Pfister. Arlen Jewel Pippin. Peyton Elizabeth Potter. Kirsten Michelle Reinhardt. Clara Yoder Rogers. Rihanna Lee Runyon. Jordan Adams Sack. Aisha Ahmad Salim. Sarah Ahmad Salim. Ayushi Singh, Bernicia Sharia Smith, Emma Frances Smith, Amber Elizabeth Snyder, Erin Rebecca Snyder, Kathleen McKenna Snyder, Victoria Ann Stackpool, Carmen Macy Stearns, Kaya Avanti Taylor, Carolyn Elizabeth Trimmer, Anastasia Tristan, Lacey Carol Tucker, Kaylee Noel Tuitt, Emily Nicole Wandling, Taylor Victoria Watson, Isabel Rose Charlotte White, Mary Grace Williams, Rachel Lene Woods, Alexa Diane Wright, Emma Marie Zach. It is my pleasure to now announce to you our Commencement Award and Honors recipients. The Penelope Zara Award was established by Mr. Edgar F. Zara, Jr., father of Penelope Lane Zara of the class of 1975. The award honors the senior or seniors who best combine scholastic achievement, student leadership, and effective contributions to the improvement of the quality of student life at Sweetbriar. The recipient of this award from the class of 2020 is Lizzie Lorene Baker. In honor of Dr. Connie M. Guyon, Mr. and Mrs. J. Wilson Newman and their daughters, Claire Newman Blanchard, class of 1960, and Mildred Newman Thayer, class of 1961, established this award to be given to members of the graduating class for their excellence as a human being and as a member of the college. The recipient of the Connie M. Guyon Award from the class of 2020 is Dejane LaShoyne Cole. The Walker Family Award honors a senior or seniors with high scholastic standing, a cheerful, positive disposition, and who show warmth, generosity, and humility. The recipient for the class of 2020 is Julie Marlene Horton. The family of Professor Judith Molinar Elkins established the Judith Molinar Elkins Prize to recognize the outstanding achievements of seniors majoring in the mathematical, physical, environmental, or biological sciences who have actively participated in the college community and demonstrated the ideals and dedication to learning exemplified by the life of Professor Elkins. The recipient of this prize from the class of 2020 is Emily Nicole Wandling. Each year, the college recognizes academic achievement by conferring upon the highest-ranking member or members of each class the honorary title of Emily Watts McVeigh Scholar. The recipients of this award for the class of 2020 are Sophia Marie Dessart and Jordan Lee Elliott.
It is now my privilege to introduce Georgine Vera, Chair of the Board of Directors of the College, to bring you greetings from the board, and Catherine Young for greetings from the Alumni Alliance. Georgine M. Vera is the David P. Leonard Professor of Law Emerita at Loyola of Los Angeles Law School. She began her tenure there in 1995 and has served as president of Oswin Realty Group, a family-owned residential and commercial real estate firm in New York City. She also served as associate dean of the Fordham University School of Law and Leonard F. Manning Professor of Law. Chairing the Board of Trustees for the Dalkinshield Claimants Trust, she helped design and implement the plan to distribute over $3 billion to more than 200,000 claimants. Since 1994, Georgine Vera has been on the editorial board of Moore's Federal Practice and has authored numerous books and articles. Georgine graduated from Sweetbriar College in 1972 and was awarded the Distinguished Alumna Award in 1997. In 1975, she received a Master of Education from the University of Virginia in Social Studies and graduated first in her class from Fordham University School of Law in 1979. She was a law clerk to the Honorable Joseph M. McLaughlin, U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of New York. Catherine Young is an expert in marketing and communications who has been with GE Healthcare for over 20 years. She currently serves as Global Marketing Communications Director at GE Healthcare. Catherine graduated from Sweetbriar College in 1991 with a Bachelor of Arts in International Affairs. At Sweetbriar, she was a House President and a member of Chungmung's. She's an enthusiastic and dedicated volunteer with the Alumni Alliance, first as a Midwest Club Chair, then as co-chair of clubs, and now as co-chair of Alumni Alliance operations.
Congratulations to the class of 2020 from the Sweetbriar College Board of Directors. Let me begin by thanking President Wu for her earlier introduction and my dear board colleague Jillian Munson for her wonderful commencement address. As you know, Jillian did not attend Sweetbriar, but she readily agreed to join us because she wanted to be part of our mission of re-envisioning liberal arts education with a focus on women's leadership. I am grateful to Jillian for all her hard work on the college's behalf over the last 3 years. You, the class of 2020, are the embodiment of Vixen Fierce. You made the bold choice to attend Sweetbriar the year after hundreds of our alumni mobilized to save the college. As our alumni connected, we saw how our experiences at Sweetbriar made us all the women we are today. And that inspired us to ensure that a Sweetbriar education would be there for generations of women to come, including you, the class of 2020. And you, in turn, have shown your courage. You persevered through the upheaval occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic, successfully completing your course of study with our great faculty remotely while finding ways to support and keep in touch with one another. Your class also provided the foundation that resulted in Sweetbriar, again, just this September, being named in U.S. News and World Report as one of the most innovative colleges in the country. You were here as President Wu and our faculty successfully created and implemented our core curriculum. I've learned from your SGA president, Kaylee Cobb, that you didn't ever really connect with your class emblem, the swan, but I know you have and will continue to live up to your class motto, factum non verbum, actions, not words. At times, I've learned, many of you felt that the only way you could get something you wanted was to demand it and fight for it. Thus, I know you are prepared to be indomitable throughout your life as it inevitably continues to throw curveballs at you. You are fierce and you are courageous. So too are your parents and family and friends. Wherever it is you are right now, please stand and applaud them for supporting you as you navigated your way to your hard-earned degree. Families and friends, please share a real hug with your graduate. You had another partner in your journey. The support and superlative teaching you received from our faculty has given you the tools you need to continue to learn how to learn. That is a liberal arts education at its finest. Please give all your professors virtual hugs. Now, I know this is not the commencement you envisioned when you began your studies at Sweetbriar. I wish I were on the stage in the quad saluting each of you as you are presented with your diplomas. Someday, though, I know we will meet at a Sweetbriar event. In the meantime, I am confident that your Sweetbriar education has taught you that although you can't control everything about your environment, you can and will adapt to our fast-changing world. You will take whatever challenges may confront you and turn them into opportunities. The members of the board of directors of Sweetbriar College stand ready to help you as you continue to grow as women of consequence. Good luck, class of 2020.
On behalf of Sweetbriar alumni everywhere, I want to congratulate the class of 2020. I want to formally welcome you as the newest alums to the Alumni Alliance. This is a vast and wide sisterhood that will continue to enrich your lives. Every time you move to a new city, start a new job, or want to start something new, we are here to cheer you on. Take advantage of being a part of this wonderful sisterhood by keeping in touch with the college. Let the Alumni Relations Department know your new address. This will ensure that you continue to get college updates and that you continue to stay in touch with all of your friends and those you have yet to meet. We are here to root you on. We are so excited for you. Congratulations to the class of 2020.
Thank you, Georgine and Catherine. Dear Sweetbriar class of 2020, you have finished college most unexpectedly amid a pandemic and commenced a post-baccalaureate life where your immediate prospects still remain at the mercy of the virus with its unpredictable peaks and troughs. How does our culture treat illness? 42 years ago, Susan Sontag, the American philosopher and writer, published an extended essay in the New York Review of Books called Illness as Metaphor. She discussed two significant illnesses of the last 2 centuries, tuberculosis for the 19th century and cancer for the 20th, and how they were represented in the literary imagination. Tuberculosis was seen as a romantic and creative disease. In contrast to the life that would have been ordinary and bourgeois, the illness that destroyed was imbued with a kind of ethereal beauty as seen in the works of literature such as The Dead by James Joyce and The Magic Mountain by Thomas Mann, and an opera like Puccini's La Bohème. The people who had the disease, so-called the consumptives, were often young, naive, and melancholic. Cancer, on the other hand, was seen as anything but romantic. Aggressive and unrelenting, it landed on victims who seemed to lack life force and determination to live. Mental stress and depression were often associated with the onset and progress of cancer. These metaphors weren't innocent. They soon turned against those who suffered the illnesses and were used to blame the victim as if it were the melancholic naivete of the consumptive that caused her tuberculosis. Likewise, there was an a priori assumption that a depressed personality invites cancer. A disease like COVID-19 has its own metaphor of blame, one that is geographic and cultural. In the unfortunate term Chinese virus, the responsibility has shifted onto a nation for no particularly helpful reasons. As the whole world hunkers down for the pandemic, unable to travel, there is an aspersion cast on the entire notion of globalism and interdependence, as if that is what caused the pandemic. Susan Sontag argued against the metaphors of illness, and her thoughts remain timely. What the world needs right now is not a chain of reasonings stemming from metaphors or innuendos, or unsubstantiated rumors, but a determination to find solutions and cures for illnesses. Class of 2020, you have reached womanhood amid the pandemic, whose causes, progressions, and consequences are still unknown. My charge to you is to be clear-eyed and hard-headed. Look at this pandemic in the face as you would life. Your first fealty as a thinking person is to facts and evidence, not to metaphors, not to innuendos, and most certainly not to alternate facts. Sweetbriar College has always produced strong, level-headed women. To succeed in life, which placed so many strictures and limits on them, they had to become practical and realistic, always making decisions based on evidence. Your Sweetbriar education has prepared you to be informed, fearless, and empathetic when facing challenges and finding solutions to them. You are ready to join your sisters. I'm so full of hope for you and the world and time you're inheriting. Go forth, class of 2020. The world is your oyster if you remain clear-eyed, hewing close to truth. Goodbye, and best of luck to you. Thank you.
Now, as we prepare to leave this special time and space, may you, our 2020 graduates, continue to seek out your own sense of connection with the mystery of life, the God of all being, known by many names and beyond all names. May you be bold and fierce, gentle and kind, clear-eyed and willing to take risks. May you hold tight to friendships which nurture you and always be open to reaching out in kindness to the stranger. May you be grounded in the values and ethics you hold and use your mind, heart, and creativity to explore new horizons. In gratitude for the gift that is Sweetbriar College, take her light and now share it with our world. In the name of the God of all love, amen, and blessed be.